Hello, welcome to Finding My Way with Pie, Purpose, Intention, and Emotion. I'm Pie, and this is...
Not Pie. I'm Hubby.
Today has felt, let me ask you first. What has the day felt like for you?
Heavy.
What was it like when you woke up and came downstairs and found Pie?
Shambles. No, I'm kidding.
Not really.
Heavy, I guess would be the word. For you, if I had to describe the day for you, it'd be heavy.
And from your perspective, though, for you, what does it feel like for you? 'Cause my energy affects you.
Yeah, I would not say the same for me. I would say that trying to help in my simple ways. I don't know. Nothing. Not negative in any way. Just help you find not even perspective. Just trying to offer up maybe a different view or opinion or a angle, just to look at what you're processing, just if it helps at all, right? Just trying to throw anything in there that I could maybe help give you, say.
You said something to me earlier. You had a look on your face as you were looking at me, and you just looked deeply peaceful, but you were smiling at me. And I mean, for context, like, I had been up for 3 hours by the time you came downstairs, and I did decide to work on a homework assignment, and it was not a difficult homework assignment, at face value. It was like, identify one of your strengths and a way that you can use it in a new way each day, and like write about what that felt like. And I was in tears and angry and upset and despairing and just frustrated as all get out, talking about it, or processing through it and writing about it by the time you woke up and came downstairs and found me in that state. And I talk about it, and I'm so thankful for you that you just sat down and we had our coffee and we were talking through a bunch of stuff, and you're not afraid of the emotion. I so appreciate that about you, that it's not directed at you, and you are just walking with me through that emotion. And it burned hot for a hot minute there. And then later in the day, as I was talking about it, and I think I realized partially some of the root of it, which I do want to talk about in just a second, but I want to go back to something you said to me, was something along the lines of like watching how you talk about this and process. Did you remember what you said? Do you remember do you remember the feeling of it?
I told you I find it very fascinating to watch you go through the process, and inspiring, and
It's that feeling I want to understand from your perspective.
So I think I was telling you, through this diary that you're doing, and as you're in the situation and you're saying it and you're analyzing it as it is through your eyes, right? And being able, for my part, because you were kind of talking about how this the master's program that you're going through, right, is what you were expecting from it and what you were thinking it was going to give you and hoping for and all of those things, and you're ticking through it. And as you were ticking through it, you know, you were almost talking about it not in a negative sense, but almost in a negative sense. And it was, you know, I was hoping to get all these things and all that stuff. And as you tick through it, I was like, well, yeah, it absolutely is giving you all of those things, right? And then there was that one wrinkle, right, that we talked about. But then I was just thinking, like, yeah, what a cool thing that this education, self-learning, all the things that you're doing, self-evaluation, reflection, is letting you grow, and you're consciously walking through it, but you're also like the curveball, right? The thing that didn't fit with expectations. I don't know if you've talked about expectations on your diary yet.
I think that's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Today, yeah.
All right. Well, then that's a good segue that way. But I was just finding it very neat to see this maturation process, right? This growth taking place in front of me that I can see third hand or third party, you know, a bit removed, and see things that you can't see as you're going through it in a way, but to see the growth and to see, like, I have no doubt that this is going to, wherever it's going to take you, whatever you're going to do is going to be great. I'm not fearful of that. I was just taking that in, even though it was kind of a tough spot for you. It was just, I could see how cool the growth was, and just the toiling in the journey, but then also the, you know, what I know will come of it, but also just seeing it while it happens too, right? In the moment, seeing it. I don't know. There's a whole lot of things. It's really words and describing things I'm not good at, but
I think you're doing a really good job. That energy that you had in that moment is, it just felt so. Oh, now I'm having a hard time with words. It was good. I don't know how to describe it. I'm in tears and I have a lump in my throat thinking about it. Because it's so steady and stable and pure and good, and like, you know, I feel like I come in here like a gale force wind of emotions, and you're a flagpole and you're not moving. You're just like steady and stable, and I'm here and I'm, you know, processing this with you. I'll flap in the wind a little bit, but I'm grounded and not going anywhere, and we will get through this storm, and also so will you. And that belief, that just strength, I just appreciate it so much. So
caught me on a good day.
Okay, so let's talk about expectations and the exercise, and why on earth this exercise that was supposed to be so uplifting just took me in this downward spiral, this flare of intense emotions. It's because I guess I'll go into this backwards from what I realized, you know, later in the day as we were talking about it. But I've known, I've been in this role for about 4 years, and I've known for quite some time that I don't find much meaning in this role or fulfillment, and it's such a struggle, and it's such a soul suck for me. And I am frustrated that I let myself end up in a position in a 20-year career that feels so awful. And so I felt mad about that, but because I've been in that state, have been doing my own self-growth, right? I've been, you know, cultivating my own. I read books. I've been listening to podcasts. I've been working on changing my perspective, and I mean, I have put some energy into this, as you know, because you'd process with me through so much of it for years. And then I came across this Master of Arts in Happiness Studies, and it's not about how to be happy all the time. Rather, it's about whole being and well-being and, you know, how to find your own path, because we're all unique humans and different things work for different people. And so it's kind of like how to find your own path to whole being and well-being. And when I signed up for this program, wanted to I wanted it to fuel my growth in a way that I felt like a better human, like with better well-being, so that I could be a better leader. And like, it's so weird to say it out loud right now, but in no version of this future that I imagined and this expectation that I had with this program did I ever even think I would, like, that my job, I just thought I'd keep growing as a leader and an executive leader in this corporate business that I work in. And I never even questioned that. It was like, that's the path. And it had been a goal for a long time. And I wanted to be, for me, that had been a goal for a long time. And I wanted this program to help me find peace and contentment in that, so I could radiate out good from where I sat. I just wanted to be a better human and a better leader and more effective, and also feel better about the work that I did. And instead, what I'm discovering through all the work I've been doing in my master's program, you know, there's a lot of self-reflection, and our professors call it me search. A lot of exploration of self. And what I've discovered is that I really like the idea of being an executive leader. There are parts about that I like. I want to create a culture and an organization of connectedness and belonging where people can thrive. And I mean, I like the financial stability aspect of it for our family. And I mean, would feel like I'm doing something that makes a difference for a lot of people. Like, for some reason, that was the path in my head. Also, I think I maybe had a little bit of wanted to prove it, because, you know, I came from humble roots and I just wanted to prove it. Like, maybe it was a self-worth thing also, it's talking about it out loud. I don't know, but I've always pushed hard for that and just assumed it would be part of my future, and that this program would help me be stronger in that capacity and radiate out good from where I was. Fast forward like 4 months into this, and I'm realizing that I like the idea of it, but in reality I don't love it. And I'm starting to feel a calling. Like, I don't know that I've ever felt that in my life. I always just worked to survive. And, you know, wanted to do better, liked the idea of certain things, and there were parts of leadership that absolutely called to me, and I'm good at it, but you know, I followed the things that Like,
The prescribed path.
the prescribed path, and people would say, well, get this degree and it'll help you grow there. Hey, get all these licenses for the business and it helps that. Oh, if you pursue this path and that'll be good. And, find the thing that nobody likes to do and become really good at that. And then you'll just thrive. And oh my gosh, and on and on and on. And now I'm like, it doesn't fill me up inside. It wasn't the choice of my true self and the thing that spoke to me. So now I'm recognizing that I'm starting to feel a calling towards different work, and that transition, A, it's scary. B, I feel mad as hell that I didn't do this a while ago because it feels like starting over. And the scary part of it is like, I don't want to destabilize. And almost like it's starting over, but my body literally won't let me. It won't let me rest here. It won't let me settle here. I have to follow it. It's very physical.
Yeah. Not much else to say about it outside of it. I know we talked about it. It's just one of those things. If you're doing enough self-reflection and trying to grow and trying to learn, and nothing's constant except for change, right? And that even includes yourself, right? And I think a lot of times when you suffer silently and you stay in that, right, and you just kind of waste away. And at this point, it's just I think it's a natural transition, and you can't, in my opinion, if you know it, you can't choose to sit there and waste away.
No.
And the way I see it personally too, I mean, sometimes with those strong emotions, right, it feels like you gotta take action now. You gotta do something, and your body, I think maybe sometimes your brain wants to take that pain away, right? Do something now to get rid of this painful feeling, right? I think it's a natural response, and I think, like you said, taking action, and you have been. I wouldn't say in this case trusting the process, because in a way it is a process and it's not, right? But it is trusting that the self-reflection, right? And then moving forward, right? You don't have, we talked about knowing the hows, right? And sometimes when your brain doesn't see the how, your brain wants to know the how, right? Some people are better at not knowing the how than others. But if you're just doing the right things and you're trying to grow and you're reflecting and your radar, your antenna's up, and you're just paying attention, the things that you are seeking will come. They will present themselves. And of all the people, and things, I trust that. I know it will happen for you. When? Who knows? In what shape? Who knows? I don't know, but it is out there and it will happen. And maybe in such a way, a lot of times that you just have like, whoa, I had no idea that this was going to go from here to here to here. Like, I just had no idea this was the medium, or this didn't look like it was anywhere near what I would think of was the path, but it was. So it's tough stuff. I just want to help. As you
do.
I know, but have the right words or the right perspective.
You are exactly contributing exactly where it's most meaningful.
And the talk around the expectations, anymore, just kick them out the door. The expectations are.
It's funny because I knew that was in there, I maybe even said it out loud early on. I want to, radiate good out from where I am right now. But I don't think I really understood the deep seated expectation of, from this role or from one above it or,
Right, and it's funny because you will do all those things, right? It just may not be from the spot that you thought, right? So again, all of those hopes or, and I won't even call those expectations. That's just what you want to do, right? The expectation was that you would do it from where you currently sit.
Maybe. I don't know. It just also felt like it feels a little bit like grief, all these crazy emotions mixed with it. Anger, frustration, denial, sadness. Like, it's like the death of an expectation, and I'm going through grief. It's crazy how deep that is. And I think part of it is because, in this season of our life and at this point, I do really feel like I've poured so much of myself into this place to end up here. And
I get it.
Words start to fail me, and I also typically need some type of a compass for myself. So I think I'd shared on the video diary earlier, but I know I'm definitely not earlier today, but in a prior one, and I know you and I have talked about it. This concept of self-concordant goals, and I want to reflect on those and set some of those for myself. And one of the tools that I want to get there is, thinking about, well, what can I do? I feel like I'm at a crossroads, so let's go through a thought process here. So what can I do? And there's lots of options there. I can stay in my current role. I can seek a similar role in a different company. I can shift the subject matter of my career and learn a different, industry or subject matter. I, of course, can complete my master's program. I'm very much called to the doctorate's program in human flourishing. It speaks to me. So the thing, like the part of that exercise is like, of all these things, well, what do you want to do, and narrow it down, and then but what do you really want to do, and narrow it down again, and but what do you really, really want to do? And the thing that calls me that I really, really want to do feels so like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm on this path and it's like, we'll just go off this way and go off-roading. Like, it's so not the path that makes sense, but it's what calls to me. And the thing about it is crazy is that I think why it feels crazy, I should say, is that I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know what the end goal is. All I know is that I want to do work in this world that helps people understand and normalize their emotions, to be able to allow those emotions to fuel meaning and purpose in their lives, and then being able to fully experience their lives. I want to do work that's there. And I think the path for that is through this master's program and then the PhD program in human flourishing. And I want to do that so badly. And that's what I really, 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 really want. And I can't see the how right now. And I also don't know how that, like, where that goes. But there, it's there. Put it in the universe. And now I need to spend more time just processing it, I guess. But yeah, the emotion today is like grief almost, and the death of an expectation, and also learning how to let it go, because and to be able to grow from here, I have to let it go. So
I would say that's a pretty good summary.
it's a lot. Like, it's spilling out of my eyeballs. I can't even contain it.
Gotta get you a tissue, but I didn't want to get up in the middle of it. I'll get you one in a minute.
No, get it. Sometimes I feel like, does this even make sense? Is this really weird? Like, this must be, you're so amazing to sit and walk with me and talk with me through it, but my goodness gracious, sometimes it feels so involved and like, you know, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, maybe talking about it out loud as much as I do and processing it out loud as much as I do is maybe not quite as quote unquote normal, but you have stuff going on inside of you, right? You have thoughts going on inside of you. Does that, like, you constantly have stuff running through your brain too?
Yeah, I think everybody has stuff constantly running through their brain, whether it's self-reflective stuff or what. I mean, yeah, I don't vocalize it. I do more now than I used to, but yeah, there's always stuff processing in the background.
Okay, so we got interrupted because my storage on my phone maxed out. I guess at the end of the day, what I was trying to ask you was, am I crazy? Number one, and number two, please tell me these thoughts resonate with someone else. I'll be honest, I do feel like deep down, you know, there's a phrase that we say in our program, what's most personal is most universal. And I think we all have things happening in our heads and just trying to process what we're going through in our lives, and it's messy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, we're all processing stuff, and that saying makes a lot of sense, right? Because you wonder sometimes if people are having maybe not the exact same thoughts, right, but in the similar vein, right, depending on whatever they're dealing with. And sometimes throwing it out there, right, isn't safe or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm crazy in my own head. And you stand out there and somebody else is like, no, I totally get that. It's just how you process something and all the fears and everything else that comes into it. It just seems like a jumble because there's usually so many factors that are weighing in how you feel and how you're processing something, and whether you feel blocked by something that's not true, but you have a perception of it, right? And so you're struggling, and then you're angry, or you're afraid, and that spins into something else, and then your brain comes up with the worst possible scenario, and somehow you end up feeling like you're gonna get killed by an alligator in Colorado in the winter, and you really don't know how you ended up there, and you feel insane when you just start thinking about your job. So yeah, it's not crazy. It just, you gotta bounce ideas and thoughts off people too and put it out there. My brain does that. Like, I am crazy, but you somehow wonder why you got there, right? You had an Edna Mode moment this morning.
I did, yeah. Oh my gosh, if you have not seen the movie The Incredibles, you have to watch it. And Edna Mode had a moment with Elastigirl that was like, what are you talking about? Pull yourself together. You were like, you're afraid of what?
Yeah, you needed one of those. I had a newspaper. Hell, listen to yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you gotta get it out because woof. And sometimes you really do need to get it out to have somebody be able to tell you, yeah, no, I have another perspective. It's a good one. You should listen to it. Yeah. All right. Well, this was a longer one, and thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for being on this journey with me and with Hubs. finding our way. We'll see you tomorrow. Or I will for sure.
Or maybe.
Thanks. Bye.